That's fine, I'll go it alone. Just like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Brian, this is a terrible idea. We could change the course of history. You always say that, but doesn't history pretty much suck? I mean, the Crusades, Hitler, Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle. Again? Oh, like all of your wives are so much better.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Oh, Harry, I just found out you had a son. Congratulations, old man.
Daughter, but thank you.
Son, and you didn't just find out.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I knew it was a boy. I just forgot.
Please, just let me be annoyed.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
Okay, listen up, because you're not ready for this level of leaked chaos. There are some things in this world you just don't expect to surface, like ever. But when it's Meghan Markle and Prince Harry we're talking about, oh honey, all bets are off. The flopped podcast, the jam that made everyone cringe, the awkward product drops, ex-friends ghosting them. And now this, a Family Guy clip so savage, so direct, that it allegedly never even made it out of the edit bay. It was killed before it could air. Too brutal, too close to the bone, too much truth wrapped in too much mockery. And yet somehow it leaked. Of course it did. And the second you hear what they tried to get away with, you'll get why it got the axe at the very last second. Sources who worked on the production said the whole thing was fully done. Scripted, voiced, animated. It was ready to go. But then, someone high up the chain yanked it. Not because it was a bad joke. Not because it wasn't funny. No, it was because it hit too hard. It was sharp, it was real, and that was a line they weren't ready to cross. But lucky for us, it slipped through the cracks. And what actually went down? Buckle up.
Offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff.
What did he say?
So picture this, a Hollywood garden party. That classic, overly perfect scene. Bright sun, delicate hats, that fake laughing crowd holding overpriced drinks and whispering compliments. Meghan's in the middle of it all, floating from group to group like the star of the show. That signature big grin glued on her face. And she's not just socializing, oh no, she's on a full-blown promo tour for her brand new wine. The now infamous As Rosé. You've seen the jokes, right? Mocked online for being pretentious, private labeled, and somehow marketed like it's changing the world.
So you hate journalists? That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
Meghan's in her element, pitching hard. She's all in, and the guests, they're sipping with tight smiles like their teeth are about to shatter. One guest calls the wine empowering, like what does that even mean? Another says it tastes like feminine resilience. It's peak fake. Everyone is pretending to love it. But Harry? Oh no, he's done. He's just standing behind her, hunched, eyes dead. His glass is full, untouched. And then, in slow motion, he empties the entire thing into a potted plant and then forces out, "Delicious, darling." Yikes. And then, Stewie. Behind a bush, watching the scene go down like a gossip goblin, and without missing a beat, he whispers, "Even the plants need therapy."
Getting Harry's son Archie, he's gonna grow up and be like, let me get this straight. We used to be in the royal family? Like I could have been a king and now I'm working at Burger King? Is that what?
Then the camera cuts to that poor plant. The thing is trembling, wilted, barely breathing. It's practically begging for help. That was the punchline, and according to insiders, the writers thought it was gold. At the internal table read, people lost it, howling. Sure, it was savage, but it was smart, it was sharp, it was everything. The timing, the setup, the jab. But once execs got wind of the rough cut, oh boy, the vibe changed, fast. Fox execs freaked, legal got nervous. There were rumors. Some whispered that the Sussex team had already reached out. Others say Fox saw the risk before it hit the fan. Either way, that scene got yanked, quietly, swiftly.
She didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. She would be Meghan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She just got lucky.
But guess what? Too late. It leaked. Of course it did. Now it's everywhere. Screenshots, fan dubs, TikToks with lip-read breakdowns. The clip never aired, but the internet already turned it into legend. Meghan and Harry, silent. Not even a peep. This wasn't parody, it was a hit job. And that fake wine glass? That was just the appetizer. What came next was even more savage.
Comes from an unconventional family. Yes, very different family. I was like, yeah, man, she does. Just like...
Because the truth, people aren't laughing with Meghan and Harry anymore. They've moved on. Her brand, not what it used to be. And if you think that Family Guy clip was just a cheeky roast, think again. That scene was built to sting. Every second was intentional. There was nothing subtle. That's why it got buried.
But why don't we have to call Kate Middleton Kate of Wales? Okay, Hilaria.
The garden party, that was just the soft open. This wasn't a one-off joke. The scene was a whole segment. It was a takedown dressed up like satire. Meghan's image, elegant dresses, soft voice, curated blog vibes. All of it was skewered. She's handing out wine to a guest list full of celebrity lookalikes. Oprah, Ellen, even a polo-shirted extra that fans swear is James Corden. Everyone's clinking glasses, saying things like, so progressive, while clearly dying inside.
We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside. Hello?
It was obvious what the writers were aiming for. The punchline? Harry, trapped in a sea of sycophants, quietly dumping his rosé into the nearest plant. Delicious, darling, he says, looking like he aged 5 years and 5 seconds. And just like that, Stewie pops out, deadpan as ever. Even the plants need therapy. The fern literally collapses, as if even it can't take another drop of the Sussex saga. Audience testing never even happened. This sketch didn't make it far enough, but even inside the room, it split people down the middle. Some thought it was Family Guy's best work in years. Others saw danger, legal danger, personal danger, and that was the issue.
It's been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. Our Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife.
Here's where it gets wild. Meghan and Harry? Not untouchable anymore, not in the way they were after the Oprah tell-all. Back then, everyone was leaning in, crying with them, ready to burn the palace down in their honor. But this Family Guy scene, it captured where the public really is now. Laughing, not with them, at them. When a show like Family Guy hits this hard, it means something. The writing's on the wall and it's not royal friendly. So why didn't it air? Legal, fear, strategy? Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. The joke was never supposed to be seen, and that's why it exploded.
Is important, so Perkins makes me a bacon sandwich in case Megs has made another one of her rank smoothies.
Wow, Harry, people don't know how.
Now that it's out, the people behind the show are scrambling, because let's be clear, this sketch came this close to airing. The writers didn't just throw it together, they fought to keep it in. Sources say they were ready for backlash, they had backup punchlines, but what they didn't see coming? A total shutdown, no edits, no compromises, just delete, gone. Like it never happened.
Buckingham Palace does not comment on political matters. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye, said Williams. Yes.
At first, the writers thought it was routine, some last-minute legal tweak. Happens all the time. But once execs started watching the full cut, that Meghan and Harry garden party, yeah, suddenly everyone got nervous. One producer called it too hot to air. That's code for, this could blow up in our faces. Advertisers hate that. Legal departments panic, and rumors started swirling. Meghan's lawyers had already seen the animatic, maybe even reached out. No official letter, no paper trail, but it was enough to shake things up. Just one whisper that Meghan's attorneys were involved, full lockdown mode. Writers versus network. One side screaming satire, the other screaming lawsuit. The writers were furious. They pointed to South Park. They reminded everyone that Family Guy had roasted Tom Cruise, politicians, entire countries. Nobody was safe. So why were Meghan and Harry suddenly off limits? Fox executives didn't care. Timing, they said. Meghan's wine brand was still launching. This wasn't just a cartoon jab. It could be spun as a direct hit on her business. That's the kind of thing that turns satire into sabotage. Headlines write themselves. Meghan sues Family Guy. That's a mess advertisers run from. And the unspoken fear? That Meghan would go full victim again. Cry-bully accusations, claims of racism, harassment, take your pick. The moment that sketch hit screens, it would be war. So Fox caved, quietly. Pulled the plug before the world ever saw it, except too late. The internet was already burning. While the network panicked, the clip leaked. And the reaction? Brutal, but real. Because once upon a time, mocking Meghan was career suicide. Not anymore. Let's rewind a bit. First came Oprah. Ratings gold. Everyone believed Meghan. Her story was powerful. She was the royal escapee, the survivor. But then came the Netflix docuseries. It was polished, overproduced, and somehow empty. People were like, wait, aren't they demanding privacy? Why are they doing a full-scale PR tour? Then came the podcast. Archetypes, big rollout, bigger flop. Critics called it aimless. Guests were bigger than the host. Meghan tried to sound relatable, but it felt forced. Remember the Deal or No Deal? I Was Objectified story. Yeah, that backfired fast. And then, the jam. Oh yes, the jam. Meghan sent jars of strawberry jam to influencers with handwritten notes and twine. She thought it was elegant. Internet thought it was Etsy core cringe. It got mocked to pieces. Presentation? Meh. Price? Ridiculous. By the time Family Guy jumped in, it was open season. Meghan and Harry weren't inspirational anymore. They were memes. Satire follows power, and when it turns on you, that means your influence is fading. South Park already took the first swing with the worldwide privacy tour. They didn't name names, but everyone knew. Now Family Guy went full tilt. No winks, no subtleties. Harry looked like a broken man. Meghan? A try-hard influencer peddling overpriced wine. And the silence from their camp? Deafening, and not in a good way. The audience isn't laughing with them anymore. They're laughing at them. And Meghan and Harry pretending they're above it makes them look clueless, like they don't even get that they've become the joke. And here's the real sting. When Meghan launched her American Riviera Orchard wine brand, it wasn't just business, it was a branding move. She wanted to be the next Martha Stewart, the next Goop, the face of high-end wholesomeness. But it flopped. I'm the only one who's ever had mental problems. My life was so hard. Sources say this wasn't even the only sketch. Rumors say there are more Meghan and Harry segments in the vault. One has Meghan opening a crystal-powered retreat called Meghaning. Another has Harry working at a fake coffee shop called Monarch Bucks. Allegedly, King Charles even pops in via FaceTime to say, "Have you tried being useful? We just want to be normal people." All this attention is so hard. Those scenes, fully written, fully animated, but still locked away. Because Fox isn't scared of controversy. They're scared of specific controversy. The kind that spirals, the kind that attracts headlines. And Meghan? She's lawsuit sensitive. Even if she doesn't sue, the threat alone is enough to scare a boardroom into silence. But let's be real, some insiders believe Fox wanted it to leak, not officially of course, but if you bury the joke, it dies. If you leak it, it lives forever. And boy, did it live. If it's truly what we want, we can really get away from it all. Reddit caught fire. TikTok stitched it to death. Twitter broke it down like a crime scene. Screenshots of Harry pouring that wine into a dying fern. Viral. Fan recreations. Everywhere. One TikTok with the caption, "Even the plants need therapy," got over 3 million views in 2 days. It wasn't just a joke, it was a verdict. And Meghan's silence only made it louder. We want privacy. We want privacy. And just when you thought it peaked, the backlash to the backlash started. A few media outlets asked, did it go too far? Was mocking Meghan's brand fair game? Or just bullying? But honestly, most people didn't care. They were too busy laughing. I'm here to tell my truth and make a ton of money podcasting. By trying to bury the sketch, Fox accidentally gave it power. Instead of a one-night joke, it became a digital legend. Private Discords are archiving it. Fan pages are cataloging every frame. And still, Meghan and Harry say nothing, which just proves the point. They're not in control anymore. Do you have a Netflix account? Yeah, it's got $9 million in it. And if you're wondering what comes next, no one knows. There are still Sussex-themed clips buried in that Family Guy vault. Executives are sweating. Writers want them out. But advertisers? Watching every move. Well, my butler Perkins gets up at 5 a.m. and does a 10K for me. And here's the truth. Even if those jokes never air, the cultural shift has already happened. Meghan and Harry once symbolized change. Now, they symbolize nothing. The public's not rooting for them. They're not buying what they're selling. And when the jokes stop landing and no one bothers to clap back, that's how you know the spotlight's gone cold. What are you suggesting? Well, your Instagram-loving wife doesn't actually want her privacy. That sketch hit too close to the truth, and that's why it was pulled. But also, that's why it couldn't be stopped. Meghan and Harry didn't just lose control of the story. They lost the room. I don't want to be a duchess and live in a huge house for free. So what now? If Family Guy has moved on, has the world? Prince Harry, get in here. Your Majesty, you blew the Henderson account. The silence says everything. And in Hollywood, that's the loudest noise of all.